Welcome to the Cyber Materials Ask Me Anything Cyber, a fun, interactive weekly event for everything cybersecurity. Join us every week at noon Eastern Time for a high-energy, quick-hit recap of the week's biggest cyber stories, from data breaches and threat intel to major legal updates. Whether it's a high-profile hack, a new APT on the rise, or a must-attend summit, we've got it covered. But that's not all. We'll also break down the latest job market trends, share our thoughts on cyber stocks, and give you actionable insights to stay ahead. And of course, we wrap things up with what makes this show special: live Q&A with you. Have a question about a breach? Want to know how a threat works? Curious about getting started in cyber? Let us know and we'll answer it live. Without further ado, let's get this event started.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, that's okay. That's a way to kick off today's event. So,
Ah,
hi, Prapti. Welcome, everyone.
hi, Sophie. Thank you for joining and helping me out there. I really thought I was talking. Hi, welcome everyone to another episode of Ask Me Anything Cyber, our weekly live session where we explore real cybersecurity questions and discuss the real concerns. Example, my mic not working. No, actually, we'll be discussing some real cybersecurity issues, and we'll be talking to somebody who is going to give her experience, talk to us, and walk us through about what it is like about threat hunting. And I'm joined with my co host, Sophie. Hi, Sophie. How are you doing?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And as I mentioned, threats, well, they rarely announce themselves. And in many cases, the most dangerous attacks are the ones that quietly, infiltrate the network activity, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows where and what to look for. That is exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about threat hunting, and let's go. And before we do that, though, we have a quick question for everyone in the live comments. How mature do you think threat hunting capabilities are across most organizations today? Let us know your answer in the comments, and we're looking forward to read it.
So I wanted to say happy International Women's Day to all the amazing women watching out there. And I know it happened last Sunday, but let's take the whole month for us. And joining us today is the trailblazer in threat hunting, and she's breaking barriers as a woman in cybersecurity. So Teresa, she's a security professional specializing in threat hunting and proactive defense, and she's the founder and co-leader of the OWASP Lyria chapter in Portugal, and an API SEC University ambassador, and an active WISP volunteer. So she's dedicated to growing and supporting the cybersecurity from everywhere. So we're gonna welcome Teresa to the stage.
Hi.
Hi, Teresa. How are you?
Hi, good, and you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us today and happy Women's Day.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Happy Women's Day to you too.
Yeah, that's great. So, like, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like to the audience, your career and journey in cybersecurity, and what inspired you to get into threat hunting?
Yes, so I'll start from the beginning, right? It all started at university. So I have a bachelor's degree in the computer science slash computer engineering. And at the time, I was like, okay, what will be my future like? I don't like programming that much, you know. And I was like, maybe I have another path besides programming in the future, because here, so I studied here in Portugal in my local hometown, and in here we only have one subject related to cybersecurity or to security in general. The other subjects, they are all related to programming. So at the time, I finished the degree, and I wanted to learn more beside. So I didn't like programming that much, but I wanted to, land a job, learn new things, and who knows, change a little bit the path from programming to another thing. So I just sent a few curriculums here in my hometown. I didn't have any luck. So I tried Lisbon, the capital of Portugal. And in there, I applied to two of the big four companies, so being KPMG and Deloitte. And so in there, it was my biggest decision, I would say, because I was accepted at both companies. But
Wow.
if I accepted, yeah, thanks. If I accepted Deloitte, it would be Salesforce. If I accepted
Okay.
KPMG, it would be cybersecurity.
Okay.
So two different paths, really, really different.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, maybe I can learn more in cybersecurity, so I'll just accept KPMG's offer. And I did. So I started as a pen tester there with zero experience. I was completely a newbie, So what I did at the time was I was working from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the afternoon. And after that, until like 11 p.m. or midnight, I was just watching YouTube videos about, pen test, how to do pen test. I was enrolling in courses. I was listening to other people, how you can hack better or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I started in cybersecurity actually. So it's not like something that I wanted since I was a kid. It's
Hmm.
something that I really like what I do right now, but I think
Yeah.
it was luck and probably the destiny. I don't know. Um, so
Yeah, actually, even we had like somebody show up here, one of our guests who was exactly like you, from sales, and now she's currently studying, for
yeah,
cybersecurity, and she's just starting her career. So we do
nice.
get a lot of newcomers, and I would like to know that how do you define cyber threat hunting for a newcomer? Because this would help give a lot of perspective to them.
Yes. So when people think about cybersecurity, what they imagine it's basically you in front of a lot of screens, right? That's cybersecurity for most people. I would say that's the reactive part of cybersecurity. So that means, and we can assume that something already happened, right? A lot
Hmm.
of companies only take some action after a data breach, for example, right? So that's the reactive part of cybersecurity. Threat hunting is the proactive part of cybersecurity. So when you conduct threat hunting activities, you're not uh, doing that because something happened. You are doing that to prevent something from happening. So that's the biggest difference. I mean, we have, and I can dive deeper into details, and probably it will be, I'll say a little bit of jargon, but I'll try to explain it in like a lighter way so that everyone can understand it. So one of the things that we do in threat hunting is looking for either IOCs, being indicators of compromise, or IOAs, indicators of attack. So IOCs, they can be either a domain that the attacker is using, an IP address, a file hash, um, an API key, etc. And then you have the IOAs, which are basically the behavior. So, for example, you have several threat actors out there, right? Groups, ransomware groups. They all, and this is something that you can search, they all have a way to operate out there. So they
Yeah.
follow a
Yeah.
specific chain. So first they do this, then they do that. So that's an IOA,
They have a
right?
pattern. Yeah.
They have a pattern. So it's like, okay, you can follow, for example, if the first thing they do before exploiting something in the system is sending a phishing email in order to get access, that's an IOA, right? It's
Yep.
something that you can hunt for in your environment and try to create a detection rule to prevent it or to detect it, okay? So I would say that's these are two like simple things that we do. We do much more than that. We collaborate a lot with other teams, such as vulnerability management, incident management in special. I would say we are also like the connection between different teams, because we have the technical knowledge. We also have the accesses to check specific things. But I would define threat hunting as something proactive,
Yeah.
compared to
And
the
you
rest of
do
them.
talk about like proactive threat hunting. And speaking of
Yeah.
that, I think some organizations make like really common mistakes in that. So, like, what would you think are the most common mistakes that you, in your experience, see organizations make when building a program of threat hunting?
Yes, so I'll speak probably because I'm more aware of the market in Portugal, but in
Mm-hmm.
here it's something that it's being more and more adopted into organizations. So I see a lot of organizations creating specialized teams, right? But I think that for some companies, it's just still a fancy name. So it's really nice to
Yeah.
see, oh, we have a threat hunting team, you know? Yeah, it's really fancy, but what do you do on a daily basis? And they're like, oh, I only look for IOCs. Yeah,
I
that's great,
just
but
I just only reply to tickets.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, but threat hunting, it's way more than that. So what other things do you do, you
So
know?
how come you're not all wearing hoodies in your threat hunting team, right? Like hoodies and like, you know?
Yeah. But so I see that thing as one mistake. So yeah, it's good to have the name there and to say that you have threat hunting services, but at the end of the day, it's not really threat hunting. It's just
Mm-hmm.
searching for domains and IPs. Everyone can do that. That's not that hard, right? Um, then another thing is, I mean, like I said, here in Portugal, for example, it's something that it's being more and more adopted. But still, some companies, they don't understand what's the difference between threat hunting and pen test or cybersecurity in general.
Mm-hmm.
So why having someone in there when you already have an incident management team, for example, for them, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's quite similar, so they don't see the benefit in there. And then another mistake, which is more related probably to budget when it comes to companies, but this also touches like cybersecurity in general. But it's like,
Generally, yeah.
okay, I want to have a threat hunting team, but I want them to use only open source tools, or they have, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
use what is out there in the market. And we don't want to make any investment because we don't have like a direct, you know, revenue from it or whatever. We don't see a lot of benefits coming from it. Um, I would say those are the three biggest mistakes, but maybe there are more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
So So it's funny, like you talk about tools because we know like successful like threat hunting isn't about only skills, no? It's also about having the right data, right tools. So
Right.
which tools or threat intelligence sources do you rely the most for hunting threats effectively? Like if you can name a few tools. I mean, not
Uh,
endorsing, but
Yeah.
yes, yes, I can. I won't name any tools, but I will just, you know, divide into categories. So I think it's really important for you to have a SIEM where you have all the logs like centralized in one place. It's really important for you to have an XDR, for example. I mean, the most common one is Defender, Microsoft Defender. Um, if you are able to, afford also an EDR solution, you have tons of EDR solutions out there. Um, I would say also, and since threat hunting is underneath this big umbrella of threat intelligence, it's really important that you have a TIP, which is basically threat intel platforms, right, where you gather intelligence from. Uh, I know we have a lot of magazines out there that give us like information, intel, but it's not the same thing because, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you have a lot of things to do. And then I would say also have like a way or a tool where you can organize your team's work. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you have, I don't know, Jira, you have
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
any other like similar tools. You can use the tasks feature in Teams as well. Um, so yeah, I would say those are the main uh, tools or categories of tools that are recommended to use as a threat hunter. And then another important thing is, and I see a lot of people and companies relying only or solely on the tools, right?
Yeah.
And the truth is, don't do that because I mean, it's great to have tools like automated tools. They are, detecting behaviors like using AI and all of that stuff, but they are prone to false positives, right?
Yeah.
And they need a human mind on the other side to evaluate. Okay, this is a false positive. This is a true positive, because the truth is they are great, but they are not aware of your environment. But you are. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really important to have not only the tools but also the experts that can analyze the results and make decisions based on the environment.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I see a lot of people commenting on LinkedIn. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave your questions on the chat of LinkedIn or on Substack, and we will read them and get your questions answered by the experts present here today. And before we do that, I had a question for you, Teresa. It was, how important is API security in modern defense systems?
Oh, I would say it's really, really important. And also to give a little bit of context, so I started in API security world when I was a pen tester. It all started because we had a client that they wanted in specific an API pen test. So at the time, I was a complete newbie. This was like what, 5 years ago,
Yeah.
probably 4 or 5 years ago. And at the time, I started like talking about API security, and people were like, "API security? Why are you talking about API security? Like that's not that interesting." And nowadays, it's something that it's trending and it's a hot topic. I think it's really important, and it will become more and more important in the future because I mean APIs are probably more of like they are kind of more than 85% of internet traffic, I would
Yeah.
say, or
Yeah.
more at the moment, probably more. So you can see by this that they are everywhere. For example,
Mm-hmm.
if you go to your banking app, probably in the background it's all APIs. So they are kind of like, the channels nowadays for applications. And now we have AI, right? AI is here for years and years now, but
Yeah.
right now it's trending again. And with AI, it's really important because you are having these intelligent APIs. You are having also the MCP, which is basically how the APIs communicate for AI in the background. So I think it's important now, but in the future it will be more important. And it's really important that companies, when they request a pen test, they also include the APIs in scope.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, like API is everywhere. We know that, and we know that they power mobile applications, platforms, even like digital
Everything.
services that we use. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but we know, like, unfortunately, they become a major target for attackers looking to access like sensitive data or
Yeah.
non-updated systems or manipulate them. So, what are the top API like vulnerabilities that developers should watch out for this year?
Um, I would mention the OWASP top 10 for APIs. So
Hmm.
it's quite accurate. For those who don't know, probably OWASP, I can give a short introduction. So OWASP, it's a nonprofit organization, and their main mission is to help organizations build more secure software. So they have tons of projects, they have tons of tools that are available to the public, they are open source. They have, I think, their most notorious project is the OWASP top 10 for web applications, but they also have for APIs. And the list is updated like every couple of years or something like that. It's not a certain, but they try to update it on a regular basis, let's say it like this.
Hmm.
Um, so I would say those are the main API vulnerabilities out there that we should look out for in not only in 2026 but also in the
But
future.
yeah.
And the thing is, if you look at the list, the latest list, and all the other ones for API security from OWASP, you'll see the same vulnerabilities in there. For example, BOLA, broken object level authorization, it's always there. For
Hmm.
example, business logic flaws, it's always there. So that means that they are still important as they were like in the beginning when the project was created for the APIs. So I would say until those are not, taken care of, I would say people or organizations should be aware of those and include them in your pen tests. So if you are having a pen test, please make sure to include the OWASP top 10 for APIs and make sure that the pen testers really look out for those vulnerabilities in your systems or applications.
And now that you mentioned that OWASP, and I know you've been involved with them at Lyria, where is your hometown, and you were a speaker at their events. Why do you think like community engagement is important in cybersecurity?
Oh man, it's really important. Um, Cybersecurity, it's a big, big, big area, like really big. I don't think people that are not in the area are aware. You have like a lot of different sub areas, and then you have
Yeah.
sub areas inside those sub areas. You have a lot of things that you need to be aware of, a lot of knowledge.
True.
Every
Hmm.
day there's a new thing, and there's a new malware, a new, new ransomware group. So it's really important in terms of sharing knowledge, because for example I work in threat hunting now, but
Hmm.
maybe I'm also interested, or it's good for me to know what's happening in the pen testing world,
Yep.
right? What vulnerabilities are training in a specific sector. For example, I don't know, the banking sector, for example,
Hmm.
right? So I think it's really interesting because you there's no way for you to know everything in cybersecurity. It's impossible, but you can share experiences and knowledge with other people. And this is
Uh-huh.
also why I created the OAS chapter here in my hometown to promote those conversations about cybersecurity. Because people are interested in cybersecurity, but sometimes they are just, shy to talk about it, or they don't have a specific group. And that's why I created the chapter, and it's going great, well, really, really well, because people like to talk about it. And every time we have a meetup, there's new inputs, there's new insights, and people learn new things. So this is why it's so important.
That's nice. And I love that because you are bringing your own hometown to an open world of a new community and what are we doing out there? And if you have to give advice for someone that trying to become a more active contributor or open a new chapter in their hometown too, what would be this advice?
I mean, if you are interested in cybersecurity, if you are an extrovert, if you are okay with, dealing with people, just go ahead and create a group in your hometown. I mean, it doesn't need to be related to WASP. You can just, gather a few colleagues in your house and talk about cybersecurity. You can jump into Discord and start a group there and talk about cybersecurity. AppSec University, they have a Discord channel where sometimes they join in there and talk about API security. So I think that if you have the interest, that's all you need. And if you're not,
Hmm.
shy and everything, you don't need any money to start doing that. It's just you just need to be again proactive and just start doing it. Like just do it, like Nike says, right? So
Yeah.
You have like really great advice, and I really hope that everybody watching, the newcomers especially, can learn something from it and just get started. It's as simple as downloading Discord and starting to talk about API security. So, how can professionals better mentor the next generation of cyber defenders, though, Teresa? What do you think?
uh, it's a tough question. I would say, and I'll touch again in this point, sharing experiences. I think that's one start point. Um, and I mean, for example, if you are a mentee, it's good to have mentorship, but
Mm-hmm.
don't stick
Mhm.
to only one mentor during your whole life.
True.
Because, like I said, it's impossible for one person to know everything about cybersecurity. So if you have more people in different areas, for example, one in threat hunting, another one as a pen test, another one as part of the security of the awareness and training team, another one which is part of the incident response team, you'll benefit a lot from that because you'll have different points of view, um, and everyone. I mean, the mentors, they have different backgrounds, right? For example, you can have two mentors in cybersecurity and they have totally different backgrounds. One started as, I don't know,
And
um,
governance, and then
governance, and then
Mm-hmm.
jump to another area. You have another one
Mm-hmm.
that shifted to cybersecurity a few years ago. So it's everything is different, and everyone have a different way of seeing things and teaching things and sharing feedback also. So I would say one thing that mentees should do is having multiple mentors during your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you can find a mentor anywhere. Like nowadays, you can find it on LinkedIn, you can find it in your company. It can be your manager, it can be, I don't know, a friend, it can be anyone. A
Yeah.
mentor, by mentor, it means that it's someone that can, teach you something.
yeah,
So,
Yeah. And as you mentioned,
share their
it's a
knowledge.
yeah. And
yeah,
as you
yeah,
mentioned, like it's a
exactly.
big umbrella, so multiple mentors, the better. So that's great. And
Yes.
because we're going to talk about a bit of career development, we have a question here from Nuno, and he is asking what would be the most effective roadmap to transition into a threat hunter role, and which entry level certification do you value the most in a candidate today?
Yes. So, in terms of roadmap, I don't think there's a specific roadmap that you can follow. And thanks for the question, Nuno, first of all. I don't think there's a specific roadmap. I think you can have like specific skills for cybersecurity, and then you can try to, join or enter a job in threat hunting. I will always say this, like if you want to join cybersecurity, like in general, there are a few skills, like technical skills that you need. For example, know about networking, how the internet works, right? That's really, really important. If you know
Mhm.
how to program, that's another thing that is really, really important. I know some people that they shift from, I don't know, economics to cybersecurity, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard for them. They are really, really struggling sometimes because they don't know anything about programming, and that's really important. um, I don't know, for example, for XDR tools that we just talked about, it's important for you to know, for example, KQL, which is the language for Microsoft Defender,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you know programming, it's really easy for you to learn other languages as well. And then I would say, in terms of soft skills, also, you need to be like curious. You need to be willing to learn new things, to spend some of your free time learning new things, because it's impossible for you to learn like everything you want
All
about
of it, yeah.
cybersecurity or the minimum in like 8 hours of work, because you have your work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you need to spend some of your free time and be willing to do so, to learn new things. Um, Try to connect with people in the cybersecurity area, right? What they are doing, what are the trends out there. Try to join again local groups around your hometown that talk about cybersecurity. And in terms of certifications, so my opinion about certifications is that, okay, it's good for you to have a certification. It doesn't mean that you know
You
what's
have
in
the
there.
knowledge. Yeah.
You can have it, it's just a paper at the end of the day. If you don't know what, like for example, you have the OSCP certification, right, which is the pen test one that everyone wants to do. Okay, it's great to have that, but at the end of the day, you don't know how to do pen tests, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
why
It's
have it?
useless. Yeah.
Yeah,
So a bit
exactly.
of both worlds required.
Yeah, I
A
would
bit of
say, yeah, it's good for you to have certifications, but I would focus on knowing the things instead of having the paper saying that you know things. Because during
Mhm.
job interviews, yeah, it's great that you have the certification and probably they chose you for an
Because of
interview
that.
because of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but if you don't know how to explain specific things about pen tests, for example, it's worthless, right?
Yeah. Yeah, true. And if I may, like, Nuno, I will also, for example, I heard people reaching out to those, like publishing a paper about a threat actor or a new threat actor and reaching out to them and said, you know what, I want to participate in the next research or I want to collaborate on this paper. And you will be like working with this team and trying to find a new threat actor and writing a paper and doing all the mapping and everything. So, when you find those people that they've done it before, it's going to be easier for you to jump on their wagon and find ways to collaborate together. And that will give you experience too, because you may have a published paper or a published resource with your name on it, and it's very useful that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's like part of what when we talk about like joining a community, and it's very important. And I'm happy that you created the chapter of OWASP and
Thank you.
in Lyria. And we know that this is something completely different from community and from what we've been doing, what we've been talking before. But you mentioned this multiple times. And this is to talk about the future, right? So Propti mentioned about like training the future cybersecurity professionals, but now we're gonna talk about like the future of cyber, right? So this is
Yes.
something that it's been hot everywhere, and you mentioned that before. We know that AI and automation are everywhere, and
Hmm.
cybersecurity is not a section, and we know that. So I'm curious on how you see these two technologies, like could be machine learning and AI technologies, changing the way we hunt threats and also respond to those incidents.
Yeah. So you need to look at AI as a coin, right? You have two faces of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use AI for bad and you can use AI for good. It's really great to have AI and
Yeah,
to have uh, tools powered by AI, which is basically every tool out there nowadays.
yeah,
It's
out
powered
there.
by AI. It's great to have that, but it's really important also for you to know how the tool works, right? You can't wait that AI is doing all the stuff for you. So it's really important that you understand it. Um, and I mean, it's great to use tools again that have AI, but you need the manual work at the end of the day. For
Yeah.
example, okay, you have a tool that it's detecting based on AI the specific behavior based on specific chain, the IOA, for
Mhm.
example, indicator of attack, right? You are looking for a specific IOA,
Yeah.
and you have a tool that detects a specific behavior using AI. That's amazing, but you need to check again if in your environment this is a threat actor trying to infiltrate the company, or if it's
Hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
someone doing admin stuff on a
Yeah.
server, or or a client. So it's great to have AI, but also AI is being used not only to defend but also to attack. So you have also pen testing tools powered by AI, and you have already ransomware powered by AI. You have malware being written with AI. So nowadays everything can be done with AI.
Yeah.
I think people just need to be aware of that. That it's not only on one side; it's on both sides, and it's great to have AI, but you need to use the brain as well. And
Mm-hmm.
again, critical thinking is really important nowadays. And we can either use AI to, not only to in the tools, but also to evolve ourselves. To learn.
Yeah.
Um, so I think we need to use it as a combination and be aware that it can be
Yeah.
used good or for evil.
Yeah. And because we're talking about the future, I think that you would have any recommendations for changes of how cybersecurity is actually taught. So, do you have any recommendations for that?
Yes, I mean, I wish that at universities they talk more about cybersecurity, especially during the bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Here in my hometown, they have a master's degree, really, really interesting in cybersecurity. But I mean, if you don't have any background or anyone that works in security before, why choosing a master's degree in cybersecurity, right? So I think they need to approach security also during the bachelor's degree, and if possible, even before that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and another thing is about social engineering. So, I mean, social engineering is not only applied to cybersecurity; it's also applied to
Yeah.
sales, marketing, etc.
Everything. Yeah.
And nowadays, it's really trending because of
Yeah.
all the phishing, the smishing, the phishing that we receive
Yeah. And
every
AI
day.
powering that as well.
Exactly, AI is powering that as well, and you also have tools on the other side. For example, here in Portugal, there is this lady. She created an app. I think it's still in development, but she created an app that detects if it's phishing using AI. Right?
Okay.
That's amazing. But at the end of the day, does it really detect if it's phishing or not? Because you have
Mm-hmm.
like several factors in game. It's really, really hard to distinguish. I think in that case it's based on the phone number, but I mean, you can spoof phone numbers. You can do
Yeah.
anything you want. You have prepaid phones. So but yeah, let's see how it goes in the future. I think it's a great, great idea, but I think that we need to take it more seriously. For example, why not talking about it in the TV shows, right? About
Mm-hmm.
cybersecurity, like talk more. Of course, that people receive a phone call and they're like, "Oh, I'm not going to pick this up because maybe it's
It's
a
not
shut
from the bank, actually. Yeah.
it's not from the
Mm-hmm.
bank or whatever." But what if you could, talk about that on national TV, for example, not only about the war or about,
Yeah.
other stuff.
Education.
Education, exactly, for
Awareness. Yeah.
everyone. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that a lot of people like, and I also, we are like very huge advocates of like education as the number one prevention tool for like for all these like phishing attacks or any scams
Yeah.
around there. And I agree that having like national television, that's a great platform.
Yeah.
But also the companies should do their own part, right?
Of course.
Like today, Meta platforms, they published that they included a phishing or phishing detector for WhatsApp account takeover, which
Mm-hmm.
is
Hmm.
like if they like if you receive a text message on WhatsApp and it says, hey, this is my new number, whatever, and they give you a link and you click there, it will like show you a pop-up on WhatsApp saying, you know what, this may be a scam, are you sure you want to proceed to the link?
Yeah.
So the fact that it's giving you this warning, it makes you think twice, right? Because sometimes you're so busy, even to cybersecurity professionals can happen, right? Like you're so
Yeah.
busy sometimes, and phishing's just like phishing emails just fall through, right? You don't even
Yes.
notice.
Yes.
And if you have this millisecond to stop and say, you know what? oh, this may be a phishing, and the WhatsApp is telling me, think about it,
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh yeah, maybe it is, right? So it's not like
yeah,
the fast social engineering rapid thing, right? Like, because social engineering, like 90% of the time is the urgency, right? Do it now, so you don't have
Yeah,
time to think.
exactly.
yeah. But if you are curious, I mean, I have a lot of people, and I mean, people from my family, friends, they have that problem. And this is really, really funny, which is called fingerware, which is basically you click everything without
Yeah.
thinking.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you are curious. Maybe in that case, you have WhatsApp saying, okay, probably this is phishing, and you're like, I don't care, I just want to see it. And you go ahead and click on it. You have a lot
Well,
of people like
but
this.
sometimes that's part of education too. Like, you know what? We're gonna send you a
Exactly.
pop-up, and when the pop-up shows up, it may be a wrong like thing. So now think about it. Like, it's not on us now. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's a good thing. So talking about these like phishing emails and things like that. So we know like cybersecurity is full of myth, like misconceptions, and some funny and some of them like dangerous, I can say. What is one security myth that makes you like roll your eyes and say, like everybody is saying, but this is a cybersecurity myth?
Uh, if you watched Mr. Robot, I mean, a lot of people think cybersecurity is you are in a dark, like in a basement, and hacking is like this, and
Hacker
you have
man, yeah.
Netflix, you know. And actually, for example, pentest, it's nothing like that. It's not like you like tapping really fast and screens everywhere. That's not pentest
Mm-hmm.
in reality. It takes actually a lot of manual work and effort. You need to analyze things, you need to think. Sometimes in order for you to exploit one vulnerability, you are there for hours, days. So it's not that easy. I would say that's one of the biggest myths out there. Another one is when you say you work in cybersecurity, one of the questions that I think we get the most is, oh, can you hack Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
I have
another
those.
one. Like,
When I when
why?
I when I used to be on Twitter, I used to have a lot of like DM saying, "Hey, can you hack into this, please?" Like, I can like, I'm not lying to you. I always get like 20, 50 per year. Like, hey, can you do that? You work in cyber. Can you do that for me? And I'm like, I don't know where you get that from, but it doesn't work like that. So yeah, I feel you there. So Teresa, thank you so much. This has been like a very fun conversation about threat hunting, API security, and of course like cybersecurity community that we all of us rely on. And especially like we don't have many women in cyber, so it's very happy to have you for Women's Month. And
Thank
thank
you.
you again. And I will like want to hear more about you and what are you going to be doing in the future. So if everybody wants to stay in touch with Teresa, I guess they can reach out to you on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, feel free to. And thank you again for having me. It's been a great conversation. Yeah,
Absolutely the same, and hopefully to see you in the future if either you come to New York or I happen to be in Portugal or in the
yeah.
Euro like area. I will ping you definitely so we can grab coffee somewhere.
Great. Yeah, great. Thanks.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. So stay in touch. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
So that was Teresa, and that was a very interesting conversation with her about threat hunting. And I'm happy to have her for Women's Month because it was actually on Sunday, and hopefully, we're gonna have more women in cyber because she's gonna influence more people, and slowly there's gonna be real change. And before we move into the cyber briefing recap, let's get Sophie here to talk about Know Your Enemy. So, Sophie, what threat should people be aware of today? So, let's begin with the short intro video.
Every cyber attack has a face, from malware and scams to the actors behind them. Know your enemy. Stay one step ahead.
So I see that there
So
is a mage card. What's that about?
So today we're talking about, like every week we try to bring a new, I'm not going to say threat actor, but a threat.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a threat actor, but it also could be a threat for regular people, right? So we're not going to be talking of specific APTs that are very like nation attackers that may not affect the regular user.
Yeah.
But today we're talking about Mage Card. And MageCard has been associated with a threat group, with a cyber criminal group that has been attacking e-commerce skimming websites. They've been like attacking e-commerce websites, and the
Mm-hmm.
technique they were using was skimmers. So basically, these threat actor has been uncovered by Silent Push threat hunting team. And MageCard refers to a class of web skimming attacks in which like they inject malicious JavaScript into their e-commerce websites payment forms. So when
Okay.
a shopper is entering their credit card details, the script will be capturing the data, and the encrypted or like encrypted credit card number is sent to the processor, is also sent back to the attacker. So they
Oh
basically
no.
are copying everybody's credit cards on e-commerce websites. So now this attack was first associated with the Magento platform, and that's why it's called Mage Card. But now it's targeting most of the online stores that process payments.
Oh
No, now
no.
how it works. This is a stealthy JavaScript injection. The attackers they insert this snippet of code in a side checkout page or in a third-party script. So if you're using plugins in your website, it could be also like injected through another plugin. And what is happening here is like it's a real-time skimming. So when a customer puts their data on the payment
Mm-hmm.
section of the website, the script will capture the credit card number, the
Yeah.
expiration date, and everything that is filling there, like CVVs or any other personal information.
Everything.
Yeah.
Expiry dates too.
Yes, and the stolen data is sent to the attacker control server at the same time that is sent to the processor to process the payment. So you basically, as a user, you barely notice any changes. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes what it happens is like what makes it like very dangerous is like it's not that suspicious for the user. So the checkout process could be like very normal, and most
Mm-hmm.
things they don't even know it that they have been stolen
Yeah.
till the fraud appears on their credit cards. So now what I can say this for regular like users out there, this attack is very widespread, and I know a lot of security firms are trying to uncover this ongoing campaign that has been active since 2022, but there has been cases in 2026 that have been detected. And one of it were customers like affected by this. They have not noticed until the customers were like, you know what, somebody attacked my website,
Okay.
or I've seen like unknown like charges on my card. So that's
Okay.
what's happening. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, and I actually had like a question about this. Like, there's like people. This is related to payments, right? So there are people who scan it and they can be squishing. There is the card scanning. They can be card skimming, and now there is e-commerce skimming. So, like, what advice would you have for like people, regular people, to like
Yeah,
avoid all this?
and I do have advice for them, but because this attack is so subtle, it's very hard
Mm-hmm.
to actually give like I can say useful advice, because
Yeah.
websites like Ticketmasters or British Airway have been affected by these like
Yeah.
skimming attack. But one of the things that I can recommend users is to actually check your credit card for like unsuspicious behavior, because
Uh
once you
huh.
put your data, it's a little bit hard for users to like go back and remove their data from the system. So
Mm-hmm.
you can either change your cards or use temporary cards. Some banks they offer you to create a temporary debit card that is only associated with that specific website and for that specific amount. So and for one transaction too. So if there's like the hackers they try to reuse this card, it won't work. So I know that Capital One they do have service like that. Also if you're a Brex user too, you can have like temporary cards, or if you have Apple card, like the Apple debit card, you can also create temporary numbers to use specifically for specific situations. So
Yeah.
ways that you can protect yourself beforehand to use any website to process payments. Use Apple Pay or Google Pay that will sort of mask your numbers, and attackers won't be able to use that data because it was used specifically for that specific transaction one time only. Now, if you use your actual debit card, which numbers don't change,
Uh-huh.
like in a temporary one, you
Yeah.
will have to make sure to monitor your account and to make sure that nobody like has suspicious transaction. And another things that you can like see could be maybe an unusual browser warning.
Uh-huh.
If you're using Chrome and you have, for example, UOrigin, which is an ad blocker and also a security plugin, it will give you a warning saying this website has been flagged as suspicious. So
Okay.
it depends on how you protect um, your computer as well. So some browser extensions will show you like, this website has been flagged, but
Mm-hmm.
until it's flagged the website, it's very hard for the common user.
Yeah. To guess
So
it.
the best way to protect against mage card will be to create temporary credit card numbers to process payments, to like lock your card after usage or use it for one-time use. So
Okay.
those are the only ways that you can protect before, like a prevention thing.
Yeah, and I see that there are people here in the LinkedIn comment section. Thank you so much. And yeah, go ahead and leave your questions. We have Sophie here, and she is going to definitely answer you. And before we go to our next segment of the cyber briefing recap, let's watch a quick video of what it is all about.
Stay ahead of the cyber curve with real-time alerts, incident reports, and the latest cybersecurity news, all in one streamlined, easy-to-read newsletter. Join more than 20,000 subscribers who rely on Cyber Briefing, available on LinkedIn, Medium, and now on Substack. Don't wait to protect your digital world. Subscribe today and stay informed with Cyber Briefing by Cyber Material.
So today about the briefings of the week, the headlines of the cyber briefing of the week, we do have another scam going on. We have talked about it in the past about Dark Spectre, which was
Extension.
malicious Chrome extensions. But this is a different campaign. They haven't found a specific threat actor associated with, but these were legit Chrome extensions that
Mm-hmm.
they were sold. They changed owner, and the owner pushed malicious scripting when they sent an update. So it was not from the get go with the intention of being malicious, as the previous
Okay.
campaign we have talked
Yeah.
about it. But this is a new modus operandi that they are having, is to purchase well established Chrome extensions and then they push malicious code with the updates. So this is like the user, they can do much about it. In
Exactly.
this case, it would be like Chrome Store that they will have to be very thorough. That when like extensions changed
Yeah.
manager,
Ownership. Yeah.
yeah, and ownership, they will have to submit them to a new set of rules on how to analyze them again
Yeah.
and consider them as brand new so we can avoid this in the past. And the two extensions, so if you have them installed in your computer, are Shortbird, and also we do have is Shortbird, which is like it used to be available in the Chrome store,
Yeah.
and the other one was something, I don't know. I don't have the name because they remove it directly from the Chrome store before it was published.
So
But
Chrome did take some action here.
yes, it did, and Chrome took action. At least I can say a couple of like weeks after it was noticed by the threat actor that, but the research team that found that the Chrome extension went rogue, and but that's the thing. Like it's a little bit like worrisome because people like installing like Chrome extensions,
Yeah.
use ownership, like whatever you have. So the two of them were like Quick Lens and Shotbird. So
Okay.
those two, Quick Lens was used to like take screenshots of Twitter, and those were like legit Chrome extensions that has been in the market for like almost like 6 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
But and again, it's very very like worrisome that they have find also ways to infect
Another
people.
way, yeah. Before this, there was still like, you need to check for reviews, you need to check for different, like, is this a legitimate place that I'm downloading it from? But now it seems like a new type of attack that might be impossible to defend by the regular users. And
Yes,
we do have like an incident about the Hunger Rush breach that exposed about
yes.
28 million users. So, what happened there? 28 million is a huge number.
Yeah, actually, Hunger Rush, it's a cloud-based point of sale, a POS platform that is used mostly for pizza shops or like fast
Yeah.
food restaurants. And it has been like a little bit in the hot water the past week because they have a massive database and they have stolen 28 million records. It could be information about like users or their businesses themselves.
Okay.
So, according to what is, has been shown as listing for sale, the database includes like customer personal information, full names, mailing address, phone numbers, and their email addresses,
Mm-hmm.
business details like restaurant owner names, business descriptions, contact numbers, for example, their Twilio phone numbers or
Oh no.
any authentication number that they may use for authenticating and for MFA. So and also they found technical metadata. So it's like URLs, domain names, timestamps. So this is like a gold mine to actually like get information
Yeah.
about behaviors, how to contact people, how to fish people. Because, like if you were like ordering pizza every Saturday at 9 p.m., I know that I'm going to send a phishing email with a pizza
Yeah.
coupon. And you're
Because of the
going to click
pattern
on that.
already there.
Exactly. You're gonna click on that and you're gonna fall victim because I know that you've been ordering pizza for the past
Yeah.
5 years on Saturday at 9 p.m. So there's a lot of like worrisome I think here because it's 28 million records. And
Yeah.
this means that attackers will craft unbelievable phishing emails and things like to target people. So if you believe that your data might be on Hunger Rush, I would recommend to stay alert and change your email address or keep an eye on possible scams and things that
Yeah.
are heading your way.
Definitely. And for the last news that we have, banks must refund phishing victims. So I'm guessing that is good news. What are your thoughts on that survey?
Well, this is good news for the European Union population. It's not for the US or North America or India or Asian countries because this is only for European Union members. It looks like an advisor of the Court of Justice of the European Union recommended a major shift in how banks will be handling
Uh
phishing
huh.
fraud. And if the court agrees, it will reshape the consumer protection about the European Union. So, right now, under the EU rules, banks can't refuse right now to refund you money if they believe that they were negligent. Like if they believe if
Mm-hmm.
the user was negligent, like they didn't pay attention, it was a phishing email or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But now this member of the legal advisor of the European Union, they said, you know what? They can do that because phishing is also like a consequence of the times they are living right now. So they have to refund now the money, and then they can argue later if the actual customer did
Yep.
it wrong or not. So the customer won't lose their money right away, but they may in the future if they are found of being actual like at fault.
Yeah.
So this is very important because sometimes you are out of hundreds of dollars and or euros in that case,
Yeah.
and the people need that money right away. So they are proposing this legislation. So if it's go through, that will be a great if there's a final ruling on this, it will be great for the European members,
Yeah.
to get this under their umbrella because their money is going to be protected.
Yeah, so it's like taking a step ahead and protecting people, and hopefully that this becomes global, and the global community takes lessons from this and embrace for new changes. And so these were the headlines from our cyber briefing. So make sure that you follow cyber briefing on Substack and on LinkedIn. You can just scan the QR code on the screen right now, and you will get updates straight to your inbox. And before we take our leave, I would like to remind you about the Eco Party call for papers. We do have a 10% discount going on called Maya Me 10. So make sure that if you have anything to submit and you are really looking forward to doing something great about known technical talks or building a strong community even, the deadlines are coming up, so do not sit on the idea. Go ahead and turn it in so we could all talk about it. So thank you, Sophie, so much for joining me today.
Thank you, everyone. Happy to talk about what's happening. And thank you, Dorisa, for joining us today. It was an amazing conversation we had with you. See you next week.
Yes, see you next week.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next Ask Me Anything Cyber, a fun, interactive weekly event for everything cybersecurity. Join us every week at noon Eastern Time for another high-energy recap of the week's biggest cyber stories, from data breaches and threat intel to major legal updates. Whether it's a high-profile hack, a new APT on the rise, or a must-attend summit, we've got it covered. But that's not all. We'll also break down the latest job market trends, share our thoughts on cyber stocks, and give you actionable insights to stay ahead. And of course, we wrap things up with what makes this show special, live Q&A with you. Have a question about a breach? Want to know how a threat works? Curious about getting started in cyber? Let us know and we'll answer it live. See you next week.